internet, let me simplify it for you. Kick some ass, get the girl, and try to look dope while you do it. My name is Matthew Kroll.
And I'm here. The things I do for my country, I'm Shahir Dowd.
And this is the only podcast about movies, specifically the film XXX, The Return of Xander Cage.
I'm really happy we have a guest in the room because I have very little to say about this movie. But
I bet you have a lot to say.
Joining us tonight, Esther Park. How are you?
Great.
Thank you for coming along.
Of course.
Hi, Esther.
Hi.
Esther is a senior producer over at True TV, also a movie aficionado. What are you into, Esther? Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
You flattered me a little there because I
really?
don't consider myself a movie aficionado.
You
but
sure were when a La La Land episode came out.
Yes. Okay. But that's because Ryan Gosling was in it. And
Are you a Ryan Gosling aficionado?
Yes.
See, I'm a Ryan Gosling fan.
That's more accurate.
All right.
That's a more accurate
So what's your Ryan Gosling, what are you into Ryan Gosling?
What's your favorite Gosling movie?
Are you like a Blade Runner or a Crazy Stupid Love?
Okay, Blade Runner hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, but you can tell what it's going to be. He's going to be like mini Harrison Ford.
I'm actually not sure how he's going to do in that.
Really?
Yeah,
he's going to be mini Harrison Ford. That's what he's going to do.
But he's played so many, I don't know, he's like the poster boy for like the Crazy Stupid, like I see him now.
But what about Drive?
Like,
Drive is not the Crazy Stupid Love guy.
Drive is just garbage.
Wait, shut the fuck up. Drive is a
But Drive was
a taxi driver of our age.
But there was like not a lot of dialogue. It was just a lot of close shots on his face.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Which in its own right, close shots.
Yeah,
Ryan Gosling's
and I was
face.
like, that's fine.
Right.
I like his face.
Yeah.
There wasn't much to work with there anyway.
Whenever I bring up Ryan Gosling, people are always like, well, they for some reason, it must be like blonde male actor thing. They always got to like, are you into Ryan Gosling or Ryan Reynolds? And it's like becomes a thing.
Oh, the Ryan battle.
Yeah, are you into which Ryan are you into?
Well, she said Gosling.
She's
Gosling, but then Deadpool sort of changed things up for me, and I was like, oh, he's got a little spunk in him.
Oh, he has a lot of spunk in him.
Yeah, no, he's super smart.
Well, Shivali said she would just take them both, but I don't know.
That's Shivali's get out of real life card.
Those are private conversations you should be having with your wife.
That's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But Matt,
who else celebrities does your wife want to sleep with?
Listen, the funny thing is, she has a list. I do not have. You know how
bring it in.
Every couple has to have a list.
Okay.
I don't have a list.
You don't have a list?
I don't have a list.
I don't have a list.
Because I don't want to sleep with any
celebrity. Well, you're not married.
Also true.
Yes.
But I don't want to sleep with any celebrity I see on the screen.
Okay.
I really don't.
Okay.
Yes, you do.
No, I really don't.
You want to sleep with directors. We understand.
I have
Look, if Francis Ford Coppola wanted it, I'd be all up in that.
I feel like celebrity get out of real life card is there because it never happens.
Of course.
But
even if I think about it in like a pure fantasy kind of way, I still like even people who I find really attractive, I don't really want to sleep with
Why?
them.
Why don't you? This is interesting. Why not?
Because I don't see them that way, I guess.
But it's all about imagination. Oh, wait, no, I figured it out. You hate fun. It all comes back to this. It all comes back to this. It's fun. You picture, it's using your imagination brain.
Wait. Okay, this is getting a little deep, but I gotta ask. Have you had one night stands? Because that's basically what it comes down to.
Oh, yeah.
If
I'm
that's
going to plead
not what
the
you're
fifth
into,
on this. I'm going to plead the fifth on that one.
Okay.
We'll
cut the fun short.
Yeah.
Well, it's getting hot and heavy in here.
It never started. But I do agree. That is the equivalent.
Yes.
It's the you're not planning your life with this person. Yeah. I'm not gonna. ScarJo and I aren't gonna live happily ever after.
Yeah.
It's just if there was
me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Take me. Whatever you want to do with me, and throw me away when you're done.
I am literally a single serving activity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, even the people I find very attractive, I can't quite picture having sex with them.
Let me ask you this, and I'm going to bring this back to XXX, The Return of Xander Cage.
If you've noticed, we have not, we're avoiding the topic.
We're trying to stall talking about the movie.
Listen, so there were a lot of attractive women in the film. In the film.
Yes.
Right.
None of them, you weren't like, oh, shit, that'd be fun.
So here's the thing. In XXX, I think the person I would be most interested in is a person who would not be interested in me. And that's Ruby Rose.
That's not what this is about.
Besides the point, Shahir. I don't think Ryan Gosling would see me on the street and think, oh my God.
No, but we're never
Ruby
sleeping
Rose
with these people.
Is not even, she doesn't want to sleep with me.
Is it because you're afraid of being rejected in your dreams?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Also, you're a father now. That
I'm
changes
a dad.
things.
Yeah.
It really does.
No, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hit us softly.
Yeah, no. Anyway, Matt, this was... The point is, we're all going to fuck Ryan Gosling if we see him.
Sure.
Ryan, you can reach us at onlymoviepodcast@gmail.com or hit us up on Twitter at onlymoviepod. If we have Tinder profiles, you can reach us all.
Oh, we should make an Only Movie Podcast Tinder profile.
Oh my God.
And yeah, we love receiving requests for movies, but Matt, this was a request of yours.
Yes.
This was your choosing. And I don't want to. There's no haterade in this room. I don't hate you for choosing this movie, but I
despise you a little.
I have to ask the question. Give us your rationalization. Because I feel like, I take you to A Pigeon Sound on a Branch reflecting on upon existence. I really want us to do River of Fundament, which is 5.5 hours long. I really want to do...
That is the word fun in it. How is that even going to work?
Fundament and fun are two different words.
That is true. That is true.
But, listen, 5th grade vocabulary.
That's all I got.
But XXX...
Okay,
The Return of Xander
This
Cage.
is why. This is why. We've been doing a lot of heady stuff lately.
Right.
And I just wanted to. You weren't feeling, it's so funny. You weren't feeling doing Resident Evil. You weren't really feeling doing Underworld.
Yeah.
And so eventually all those rejections sort of piling up to what we would do.
This is your resentment.
I mean, this is the equivalent. XXX is the equivalent of the Trump presidency.
Okay.
It just, it was so much, I was just angry, and like, you know what? Fuck it. What the? What?
What did you do?
Okay, he just pulled out. Shahir just pulled out 20 chicken McNuggets and some sauce. What is it? Okay, you're bringing props?
Listen, you made me watch the McDonald's of a movie.
Okay.
So my review is I'm just going to sit here and eat McDonald's.
That's cute.
Okay.
Because
He had to prove a point. That's the only reason
I think that might have been what I smelled. In the room earlier, I was like, hey guys, do you smell this thing? And everyone's like, no. And it smelled like chicken nuggets. Fuck you. They were here.
No, here's my point. Here's the point I want to make is that sometimes you want McDonald's. I get it. Sometimes you're out of options. Maybe it's not even out of options. Maybe you just want McDonald's. Like you have that craving for a cheeseburger or a Big Mac or whatever the fuck you want, right? And I get that.
What sauces do you have? I'm just curious.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
Do we need to talk about McDonald's?
Yes.
Do we need to have a conversation about your 5 a.m. I'm going home and McDonald's was the only thing open and this is what I wanted and I got it, or I'm home alone this weekend and I just want a meal. Do we need to have that conversation?
Not about the specific meal. We never have to talk about the 20 chicken McNuggets. You got honey mustard too? That's great.
Do you want some? Do you want some nuggets?
We don't have to talk about the individual. Yeah, no, please make the noises while we do it. You don't have to talk about the individual meal. What you have to talk about is the psychology behind why you want it. That is interesting to me.
Of course, that, and I'm willing to have that conversation.
So we're going to do both. I want to do both because, listen, listeners, truth be told.
But I feel like you didn't choose this movie for that reason.
Well, I chose this movie because I needed some just mind-numbing garbage, and that's what I got.
You needed a laugh. That's what you needed.
So and that's what I got. Now this is the thing.
Sure, that's true.
This is the thing, and I will go into it a little bit. Obviously, this movie is not good by any air quotes standards.
Chicken McNuggets with whiskey right now.
Yeah, why not? Just live your true life and be yourself.
This is Shahir's version of fun.
This is why I'm not going to have sex with any celebrity.
Yeah,
I'm sitting here.
Yeah,
and bring it around back.
Yeah, because I'm going to sit there and eat chicken McNuggets with whiskey.
But the idea is, yes, it's a bad movie. But it was awful. We were rolling our eyes, Esther and I and our friend Giraffe, friend of the show.
I think it was like 30 seconds in.
Yeah, and it was very easy. We're like, what the fuck is this? But I will say, especially even the experience we had in the beginning when we walked in and we were the only 3 people for a good 15 minutes. We took a bunch of pictures. It was super fun. We were hoping that we were going to be the only ones. We weren't, sadly.
Yeah.
And then it's that feeling of seeing a garbage film with people you like. And the offer was out to you, Shir. You couldn't go. And I actually felt bad that you had to see this film alone.
I did see it by myself.
And that I feel like does taint the only redeeming qualities of this film, that you can't look over to someone else and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
but I think it's going to come down to, it's going to come down to like the fundamental thing that is like one of the primary criteria for me going to the movie.
I'm eating a nugget with sweet and sour sauce while you talk.
Do it. Is this movie going to waste my time and waste my money? And
Esther,
here's the thing. I agree with that thing about like having a group environment where you're like sitting down with your friends, you're having some drinks, you're laughing, you're talking out loud during the movie.
Yeah.
But to pay $15 to go see this movie in a theater right now. And the thing is, Matt, look, again, I don't hate anyone for doing this movie as well, and I don't hate this movie for existing. It's to me, it's not a. It's not a.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Here's the thing. It's not a. I don't even think it's like a god awful movie. It's just a.
There are aspects of it that are done well, but not enough to make it a good movie.
I didn't say it was a good movie by any way, but the thing is nobody, and I mean nobody is going to talk about this movie beyond this podcast.
But that's why we exist.
No one is going to have a conversation about this, Esther. No one is going to have a conversation about this movie.
No, they will, because there are movies that exist out there that are so bad that it's good. For example,
but this is not one of those.
I think so.
I think so.
Really?
Yeah, because everyone, for example, like I told Matt as soon as we were done, I was like, this is like the Tokyo Drift version of like the Fast and Furious franchise, which is like, it started out okay. Sure, it's like you could pay a few dollars.
I haven't seen any of the Fast and the Furious movies, but I hear
the first and second one are like okay, and then it was like, because it's up to like 7 or 8 now.
Yeah, it'll be 8 soon. Yeah, Fate of the Furious.
Yes, but the third one was legitimately probably the worst, and it was like just a nosedive into a black hole of movies that like
4 was pretty bad too.
Yeah, and so like this is the same equivalent because it was just so terrible.
Right.
Like.
But by that rationale, see, here's the thing. I don't ever want to see an XXX movie again. Like,
did you see the first one?
No. I don't.
Oh, see, you didn't know the intricate backstory, and that's why you didn't enjoy it, Shahir.
But by that rationale, the Fast and the Furious,
you don't need to have seen the first one.
The Fast and the Furious did a complete turnaround after the fourth
everybody
movie.
talks about it. Everyone talks about how bad it was. For example, like
but now there's 7 of these things, and I hear they're actually like fun.
No, they're great now.
Great, but your point was a bad movie never gets talked about. Like no one's ever going to talk about it again, but they do. Like for example, Sharknado. Mm-hmm. That came from
that's an entirely different category of film to me.
Why?
Like Sharknado is. Excuse me.
Choking on nuggets.
Listen, I'm a professional, and I can eat these cold chicken nuggets while I'm talking. Apparently, someone can't handle it.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I can't handle chicken nuggets. I fucking hate McDonald's.
Why are you eating them then? I'm going to eat this whole thing.
I told you, he brought these just to prove a point.
I did just
and I'm going to prove a point by finishing them.
Yeah.
Do it. Actually, that is my wage. Because I had to go see XXX, you're going to have to finish this entire package of chicken.
You are acting like this is a punishment.
I know. You're the dad. You're really fulfilling that role.
Thanks for the nuggets, Dad.
Yeah.
If your dad catches you smoking a cigarette, they make you smoke the entire
whole pack.
packet. Yeah, you're going to have to eat the entire packet of chicken McNuggets. Right. This episode is proudly sponsored by McDonald's.
I'm loving it.
I'm not.
Like the thing is, I think this movie is indifferent. There's nothing to talk about in this movie. There's maybe one.
I'm going to talk about a bunch of stuff. You keep saying there's nothing, but I got lots to talk about.
There's maybe one scene. We're going to talk about it because that's what we do. But there's one scene in this film that I think is so laughably bad that it's good.
I can't wait to hear this.
But other than that, I think it's a fairly indifferent movie.
I talked to my office about it for a good 20 minutes to a half hour.
Had any of them seen it?
No.
Right.
Doesn't matter. That's not a criteria.
Yeah.
No, but that's a different conversation.
Doesn't matter.
It's a different conversation to talk about a movie in cultural terms, in terms of like, what is the value of this movie? And I think that's an interesting conversation.
Sure.
This movie itself, though, is unfortunately not really worth having a conversation about, just as me describing to you my cheeseburger at McDonald's is not really.
But people are still going to talk about it.
Yeah, but I'll do one.
Are they really?
I'll do one up about this. Listen,
in the spectrum of movies that we're going to
get a word in.
In the spectrum of movies that we're going to talk about it in the next year, are we going to ever bring up xXX? Is this going to make it your top 10? Are you going to bring it up in your top 10?
Listen,
I hope listeners
I'm really enjoying hearing you cheer right now.
The La La Land episode.
Yeah.
The majority of our conversation, a lot of it, was about what the movie meant outside of the actual movie.
But that movie has value.
Yes, and I would say way more cinematic value than, obviously, XXX, The Return of Xander Cage. And you have to say the entire title every time you say it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But.
Wait.
What?
Sidebar. I just realized the title is The Return of Xander Cage.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
And I thought it was XXX Xander Uprising. I don't know where that came from.
Uprising.
But in my notes, that's literally what I wrote. I wrote
that's
XXX Xander Uprising. That's what the movie's called. But anyway, continue.
Xander Uprising.
Yes.
It's the Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of the Xander trilogy.
Xander Rises.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but what I'm saying is, a lot of interesting conversations. Sometimes the best conversations happen outside of even great movies.
I understand
but this is why there's value to this, and it's twofold.
Mm-hmm.
One, it's the communal experience of seeing it for the first time with friends,
yes.
especially when you're like Even in the theater, like I understand the money thing. And I would never tell somebody to go see this movie because it's worth your $15 on face value.
Yes.
It's worth $15 for the experience if you know what you're going in for.
Yeah.
Now, hold on. You talked for a while. Let me just finish this up. I knew what I was getting in for this.
Right.
The first XXX. Have you seen it, Esther? Have you seen the first one?
Yeah.
It's a lot more reined in. It was it was still crazy and kind of weird, but it was the X Gamers answer to James Bond, right? This felt almost like it was A, locked in that time period of like the 2000s or the late 90s, and B, almost a parody of it.
Yes, I remember that's what we...
Yeah, and so my second point is this. There is no way that everyone making this movie was not in on the joke.
You mean like they weren't taking it seriously?
No one in this film was taking it seriously. Maybe Vin Diesel,
because
maybe Vin Diesel.
I don't think that the idea that there was a joke comes through in the film itself.
Oh, the entire thing is a joke.
I don't find any humor in the film, and I don't find any sort of like
it's a 15-year-old joke.
The film that I think, like, one of my favorite action movies of all time is a film, Desperado. The Robert Rodriguez film. And when Robert Rodriguez...
Wow. You're
Wait, I just need to throw that. You're giving him the bedroom eyes while you're singing
I'm sorry. If you don't give anyone...
left out.
If you don't give bedroom eyes while you're singing an Antonio Banderas song...
Oh my God.
If you want me to sing Evita, I'll sing Evita to you right now.
But I felt like I should have left the room in those like 10 seconds.
If you haven't realized that this entire process of making this podcast is really a long courtship between Matt and I, then you haven't been listening very closely.
Yeah.
Well, now that explains a lot.
Yeah. Matt just cracked open a beer.
Having nuggets. It was great.
I'm very impressed that you know the lyrics to that song. Because the thing about Desperado is I think Desperado is a film that knows... I don't think it's a joke, but it loves what it is, and it goes for it 100%. This film, XXX, to me, XXX, The Return of Xander Uprising, is to me just a fairly run through the motions of what they think an action movie could be.
Seen through the eyes of a 15-year-old boy.
And the scene that was so laughably bad is because it is seen through the eyes of a 15-year-old boy, is the one where Xander Cage has sex with like 10 women at once.
In like the first
my God, that was so funny.
And it was like,
how do you not find the parody in this? Because
I don't think that, but the thing is like, I don't think that scene comes off as, oh, this is ridiculous. That scene comes off as, look how cool Xander Cage is.
No, Matt brought up a really good point. After we watched a film, we were talking about it, and he was like, there is the moment when Vin Diesel afterwards looks straight into the camera and is like, this is the shit I do for my country. And so it's like, he breaks that wall sort of almost.
Yeah.
And
you think that is a moment of breaking the fourth wall?
I think that's a moment of...
It's just a nod
that moment happens very early in the film.
Right.
Yeah,
very early in the film.
In.
Did you guys happen to notice that every woman is in love with Xander Cage?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
It's hilarious.
Yes.
Right.
Listen, that moment...
It's really funny.
But the orgy scene, or the orgy prequel scene, whatever you want to call it,
I think that should be a movie, by the way. They should just have the Xander Cage.
You really want to see Vin Diesel fuck 10 women for like an hour and a half? Because
you know what? I would be more interested in having a conversation about that than this movie.
So, that's so weird. You can't picture a female actress that you could imagine having sex with, but you'd rather think of Vin Diesel having sex
with 10 different girls.
Yeah, I think we're getting to the root of what my anxiety is.
This is Love Line.
I mean, everything. This is Love Line. We were talking about that earlier. Yeah. I'm Adam Carolla.
And I'm Dr. Drew.
Jesus.
Please call us in.
Oh, God.
We don't have a phone.
We should never get a live phone.
We don't have a phone, but please call.
The moment of the orgy was the moment I realized.
It's so funny you say orgy.
Let me finish the fucking thought. That moment was when I was like, oh, this is this movie. It just winked at me and told me this is what the movie... Like, before I was like, what the... Okay, come on. Really? Okay, all right. And then this happens, and I was like, oh, I am now fine because that's the most fucking ridiculous thing that could have possibly happened in that moment.
Not satellites raining in from the sky?
No, again, the beginning, I was like, fuck this. I was like, come on, really?
Orbiting.
And that someone had built like a user interface for satellite attacks?
In the 3DS? I know. But the point is, all those things were kind of like, they were doing the same things I feel like they were doing for you. I was like, fuck this. This is so bad. And then when it hit that point, I was like, oh, this is so bad. Like, I was like, I've turned off the educational part of my brain, and I've just been like, this is dumb. They know it's dumb. Let's just revel in the dumbness. Let's have some chicken nuggets. These are two. There's two attached to each other. That's like a chicken nugget orgy.
So the only thing that I was kind of interested in is,
Don't look at me like that.
is where does Xander Cage buy his cutoff shirts? And like, does he have to actually does he buy them off the rack, or does he have to actually buy them? And
I thought you said there'd be no haterade here.
That's not haterade. I was really thinking about that.
So, I mean, I'm just bringing it back to talking about the movie.
Yeah.
Like Matt said.
Thank you.
Yeah. Like Matt said, it's a communal thing because there's nothing that people love doing more than shitting on a movie together.
Right.
And we know nothing about that.
Right. Clearly. So like that scene may have rubbed you the wrong way. No pun intended.
I rubbed a lot. Yeah. It rubbed so hard.
He was a genie in a bottle at that point.
My biggest part, I just took it as it was. I was like, okay, this is funny, parody, everyone's in on the joke. The fucking thing I hated the most was that the Asian guy doesn't give a shit that Vin Diesel just took his girl. And at the end.
We're jumping a little bit ahead, but yeah.
Sorry. We could take that out.
No, don't take it out. It's
but
just,
was Donnie Yen dating?
I wasn't ever sure. They did have one line. They had one line. Yeah, the queen, and then there was something with taking his dance partner, which could have been partner, or could have been romantic partner.
No,
I don't know.
They're living on an island together. Like what?
They were hiding on an island, which also is sexy.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Was this film sexy at all? Not in
the people were sexy.
I had a big crush on the Indian, like the
Deepika Padukone.
Oh my god,
she was, and what I loved,
not Priyanka Chopra, like the non Priyanka not Chopra.
Well, I love that she looked freaking hot, and then had this really sexy Indian accent. And
it's funny. I always find the Indian accent hard to take.
What?
No, I mean I know what you mean. I'm sort of in that head, but she was the first one I saw, and I was like, oh my. I was like, that's kind of turning me on a little bit.
Right. That was the sexiest Indian accent I'd heard since Shahir, but also since.
Wait, Shahir, let's hear you do it.
My Indian accent is terrible. It sounds mostly Mexican and Italian.
I just meant, no. I'm not talking about you sounding like you're from India. I'm saying you're an Indian with an accent. Granted, it's not. It doesn't match. I mean, you have a New Zealand accent.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, but also, no, her accent in the movie, super sexy. Only probably preceded, honestly, by the voice actress who plays Symmetra in Overwatch. Shout out to our Overwatch episode. That's right. I called out a video game. What up?
Esther, you see what I got to deal with here?
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah, I got nothing to say.
Yeah. No. She's a very, very beautiful woman, undoubtedly. But it's weird because my parents watch Bollywood films and I watch them in the background kind of thing. And there's a chaste quality to Bollywood films. The making out in an Indian film is still kind of probably the extent that they would go to. There's probably now.
Ooh, this is good for
so
the other one.
Yeah. But so the thing with her is that she's very westernized in this film, and I thought that was interesting. But it was kind of there's a little bit of cognitive dissonance only in my brain, not necessarily in the world as it exists. Because clearly she's a very attractive woman.
Right.
Clearly she looks great.
Every woman in this movie is super attractive, and Donnie Yen is a fucking great looking dude. Yeah, what?
I was like, they're all wearing leather somewhere.
A lot of leather.
Vin Diesel's wearing a lot of leather on his face.
Esther, you saw the first XXX. Did his coat fur get bigger?
Yeah, I remember you noted that, and I was like, yeah, they definitely added some.
It did. They grew in the time he was away.
Either he got bigger.
No, or he got smaller because the fur looked
maybe
bigger.
He's drowning in it. I don't know, but it did look freakishly
big. The funny thing is this film was kind of like I would argue the plot synopsis was written on the back of a napkin kind of thing. It was like, hey, what if James Bond? What if James Bond was like an extreme sports dude?
This is the IMDb. Hold on, let's find this real quick. It is. Hold on, I got it coming up. Here we go. It is, and I quote.
What
do you quote?
I do quote. Xander Cage is left for dead after an incident, though he secretly returns to action for a new, tough assignment with his handler, Augustus Gibbons.
None of that happens
30% true.
None of that happens in the movie. When was he secretly left for dead?
Yeah.
Well, I know in the previous film, but we had this conversation about continuation of the story.
Yeah.
What is that at any way relevant to the story?
No, it was not at all relevant. I think Samuel Jackson was the only connecting tissue, right?
But does it and eventually Ice Cube.
But does it matter?
I forgot about that little cameo.
Yep.
Does it matter at all? It doesn't matter a bit. right? Like this is.
But
just,
none of this matters.
I actually thought they took probably the worst films, took lines out of it, and then just threw it together on a page. And that was a script. Like
writing,
that was.
Yeah.
It was just horrendous. Like I felt like everything was cliche, but that's why 30 seconds into it, or like 10 minutes into it, I was like, this has to be a parody. There is no way that anyone in it is taking themselves so seriously.
Yeah. Look, I don't think it's a parody in any way, shape, or form. I think this is literally
You think every one of those actors was like, yes, this is good work.
No. You know what I think every one of those actors was doing? Every one of those actors was going, this is a fucking paycheck. And it's a really good paycheck. Okay, I'm going to take it.
So you bring up a really good point.
Toni Collette doesn't need to do this movie. But it's a fucking huge paycheck.
She was bad.
And I want to know how much she was paid.
She's great.
She was bad in the movie.
She was terrible.
Really?
Yeah. So I have a list of what the fuck actors in this movie, because I was like,
Toni Collette called for her to like be a villain. And she did it.
I don't think she pulled it off.
Yeah, her lines. Well, everyone's dialogue, the written words are awful. Yeah. There's no question about that.
That's
but
just the base.
Her like everyone else delivered their lines. At least they were like, all right, I'll say this like a character in the situation in a cartoon version of this would talk. She just talked like this. I will say this line now, and then don't get on my bad side. She was the worst part of this movie for a lot of it, and it sucks because she's great.
Toni Collette is amazing.
I know. She's
Muriel's
such a great actress.
Maybe she doesn't know how to phone it in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Matt on this.
I think she's phoning it in, but I don't think she's. But I'm saying she's doing it
incorrectly.
See, this is the thing. That's the thing. I don't think anything in this movie is so bad it's good. I don't think anyone is hamming it up like it's not like
this movie isn't Log.
It's not like Mark Wahlberg in it's Log. It's better than bad. It's good.
Happy
it's
place.
Log. It's better than it's something. It's wood.
Great.
Yeah. Anyway,
moving on.
Listen, we got Overwatch. We got some Ren and Stimpy. I'm good.
So Esther, the second you get something totally off topic, just fucking blurt it out.
Yeah.
I don't think anything in this movie is so bad it's good. I think everything in this movie is so indifferent, and everyone is just cashing in a paycheck. And maybe people like Deepika and Ruby Rose and Chris Wu are kind of like, oh, this is my stepping stone to a bigger
those
property.
Actors make sense.
Yeah,
but
Ruby Rose has been in every film this year.
She has been in a lot.
John Wick. She's going to be in John Wick.
John Wick, Resident Evil.
Yeah.
This, and I saw her in one other thing, but they're all like bit parts.
She's in Orange is the New Black, and she's really good in that.
Yeah.
So I think the thing about it is the reason why I don't have any hate for anyone doing this movie is it's a fucking great paycheck. You can do this, and the thing is, like I said, I'm gonna guarantee this in 6 or 7 months' time, people are gonna forget this movie even existed.
Okay.
No one's gonna talk about it.
That's fine.
Okay. It's just out. It's like a McDonald's cheeseburger. You're gonna forget it exists.
Sure.
Okay, so I kind of agree with you because
That's fine. I agree with you.
On every actor's roster of movies that they've done, there has to be one that's like, I just did it for fun. I did it for them. Yeah, and so like maybe that was this for her, but like I just felt like the level of movies that she's picked in the past, this one just really didn't make any sense.
It's a paycheck. It's a good paycheck. See, the movies that I think actors do, like one movie that I love that a lot of people don't like is Ocean's 12. The second Ocean's 11 film. And the thing is I think that is a movie where every actor in it is just like, oh, let's go have some fun.
Yeah, they knew what they were getting.
But the thing was, I had fun watching it. You know what I mean? Like I did not have fun watching this movie. And it's not that anything was so bad it was good. It was just like, that happened.
You didn't have friends with you.
But if we're on the topic of Toni, like I am with you in the sense that like, sure, she did it for a paycheck. But if she's going to do it, like to Matt's point, I wish she had just executed it in a more convincing way where because like every role she's been in, like maybe this was fun for her and she was like, maybe I could play a villain and I could have fun with it, but have fun with it and do a good job if you're that good of an actress.
You can only give, I agree with you. I think, and there are certain actors who clearly are doing more than the film requires.
Yes.
I think she's doing exactly what the film requires and exactly what everyone required of her.
I think everyone just did more. I think everyone had more fun with it. I don't think this is the thing. I don't think she had fun with this movie, and that's fine.
Exactly.
But you literally have to shit or get off the pot. It's the same thing as the orgy scene, the turn moment for me. It was just like, if I don't start liking this because I realize what it is, if I don't get on board, then I will be miserable for an hour and a half. And I don't want to be. I paid for this, and I'm like, you know what? Let's go on this stupid 5th grade ride.
Yeah. And I think that with Samuel L. Jackson, he gets on board.
Yeah,
I mean, if you think about all the shit he's put out, it's like he's convincing and he gets on board with it and he's behind it.
He's
What?
only on set for a day, probably.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah,
like
but
he turns up.
But when he's on set, he shows up and he like presents him. You know,
And he
what I mean?
recruits
It's
a soccer
convincing.
player.
But he's on set for a day and collecting like $5 million or whatever ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah.
So
Who gives a shit?
No, that's what I'm saying. Is that's why it's easy. Like Toni Collette has to be on set the entire time and deliver these bullshit lines. I actually think she did fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually think she did. I think she delivered
I'm
as
shocked
required.
you say that.
Yeah,
I think
that's
everyone
interesting.
the director DJ Caruso. I think started his career as an interesting filmmaker. I think Taking Lives is interesting. I think Disturbia is an interesting film. I think
A lot of Shia LaBeouf film.
Shia LaBeouf and Eagle Eye was the big was his. I think when DJ Caruso as a filmmaker wanted to say, hey, I can do Michael Bay big movies, and
Yeah,
I
mean, he proved it. In this, I guess.
and he's proven it. But I think he's gotten less interesting as a filmmaker. But again, he's probably like if someone comes to you and says, hey. Here's a 80. What was it? The budget for this movie was like
80 mil.
$80 million.
85.
Here's a shit ton of money. It's 6 months out of your life.
Go have fun.
Go, like you're going to travel around the world. You're going to blow shit up. You're going to have like a 9 to 5 days, because we got so much money on this movie. Have a good time. Go out and do it. But I'm saying is, unfortunately for me as an audience member, I can't recommend this movie to anyone. I don't think you'll have a good time watching this movie at all, unless the thing that you enjoy is the company of your friends. And that's great.
As most human beings do.
Right. But the movie itself, I'll be like,
you're not going to watch it by yourself.
Yeah.
I
mean,
did, but-
that's because you couldn't come.
Yeah.
It's because I got no friends. But-
No, you chose not to. You had other things.
Wait, we're overlooking the best actor cameo in this, which was the Hound from Game of Thrones.
He looked like he was having fun.
I know.
Rory McCann, baby.
He maybe had like 5 lines, and I was
McCann?
like, wow, he's having a lot of fun.
He's having a blast.
Because
Well,
I
listen,
feel
he
like
just spent the last 5
like
years
killing.
of his life.
Actually, that's a very good point.
And now he just is to crash vehicles into shit.
Yeah.
and he doesn't have to wear prosthetic
And
makeup all day.
He was the first IT guy that was not Asian on a film like this.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
very impressive.
Listen, can you guys explain to me, Chris Wu, what is his skill in this movie?
Is he the DJ?
Yeah, he's the DJ.
Oh, we talked about this.
He's just
Yeah.
perfunctory. He closed a laptop on someone's hand and then he
Killed someone with Beats.
with Beats headphones.
When did he, what in the previous films?
No.
in this one.
In this one,
Did he?
So when the raid happens on the
Russians are coming in.
The Russians came into the party island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that sentence. The Russians came into the party island.
Yeah.
He gets up there to distract everybody with his sick,
zingy music.
his fucking EDM superpowers.
Yeah.
And then when the Russians come up, he slams one of their guns into his laptop and grabs his headphones and flips him over.
And then just grabs the cord. It's it's pretty great. But
That's what he. So is he a martial artist?
No, I don't know who this guy
Is he a
is.
fighter? He just shoots. Because you got Tony Jaa. And,
Who's wasted in this film?
and Donnie
Donnie Yen at least does stuff. But
Yeah,
Tony Jaa is just wasted.
yeah.
I mean, Tony Jaa's had an interesting trajectory since on back. He's never really
No, I
come
know,
up
but
since then.
the man is capable of a million things, and they
dude's
literally
amazing.
gave him a shitty blonde mohawk, and I'm just like, okay.
Yeah,
I think they probably just took a look at Vin Diesel's team on paper and was like, oh, we got to throw someone
But Chris
artistic
Wu,
in
Chris
there.
Wu, what does he do?
Nothing.
At one point, XXX literally throws out.
His name is Nix, by the way,
Yeah.
in the movie. I don't know if
He throws out a team of military experts out the back of a plane because he's like, these guys are not good, and I'm going to replace them with my guys. And then it's got Chris Wu, and they have
more
these
and more
they have these little flashcards that pop
Yeah.
up, which is like exposition
fuck,
dump.
Fuck that. That's a Suicide Squad move. I hate that shit.
It's funny. I just watched Creed, the Apollo Creed movie, and that
Great
had
film.
that as well.
What?
The title cards that come up.
Those.
And I always feel like whenever that comes up, it's what's happened is
They were a little more subtle in
We
that, though.
need exposition, but we don't have time to do it, or there's no other way to do it at this point. It feels like something that happens in editing, and literally when Chris Wu's character comes up, was it Nix? He said,
Yep.
It's his fun to hang around with. And I didn't XXX and him don't even hang out in the movie.
No, they don't.
But he supplies a soundtrack.
Yeah.
He does say it. He does say at one point, "Told you he was fun to hang around with." He does say that.
Yeah.
I was like, "No, you didn't tell us that. A card came up in the movie and told us that."
Well, maybe he was talking to the card.
He was just there, I think,
Right.
as an artistic person.
I liked Ruby Rose.
She was fine. She played the same character she plays and everything.
Okay,
Right.
so I have a total bias against it because I just wanted more from her.
Really?
Yeah.
You think she could carry a movie?
I don't know.
I think she could.
I think if Zoe Saldana could carry that movie Columbia or whatever,
Mhm.
then Ruby Rose carry a movie because I don't.
Okay.
She was like an action star or something in that, and so like Ruby.
She actually was an Australian journalist for a long period of time, and the reason she came up is she made this short film about like her identity, where she like starred. I forget the name of the film, and she was recently in a Veronica's video that she directed. I think it was a Veronica's video. And it's awful. Like, I mean, I really like Ruby Rose, but this music video clearly is not her talent. She's got a lot of talent. She's great. A lot of charisma, a lot of personality. She's just a cool person to watch doing whatever she's doing.
Well, also, like both sexes are incredibly attracted to her, so let's not ignore that.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
What do you mean, maybe?
I mean, no, I'm saying maybe that's the reason why she's so cool.
Yeah, I just wanted more from her because they gave her like, I guess if there was like a list of the good lines in the movie, she got the good ones.
She had the best lines out of everybody.
She played the witty sniper shooter girl. Like, that's very sexy.
Who was also good with knives. Like, it was a very long-range, close-range sort of scenario, but whatever.
Like, where did you get your training? You're really good at everything.
Too specific. Mid-range, she's garbage.
Right. Why don't we talk about Donnie Yen for a second? This is the third film that we've reviewed this year with Donnie Yen in it.
God bless him.
The second where I wish he was the main star.
Yeah, true. Same.
Wait, other than Star Wars and this one, what else was he in?
Crouching Tiger and Dragon 2.
That was him?
That was him.
Interesting.
And not as interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Unfortunately, couldn't quite carry a film. But in this one and in Rogue One, I was kind of like, I kind of wish you were the main guy.
He's just the physicality, and I don't want to take away from his acting ability because I do think he's an excellent actor. But the physicality that you're able to do with him because he is so skilled and so trained, like it's funny because it makes all of his scenes steal the show when everyone else can't pull that stuff off, so they cover it in cuts.
Right.
Like, but there was a scene again when the Russians attack Party Island. That should be the name of this movie.
Yeah.
Russians attack Party Island.
Russian Uprising.
Russian Uprising. God. But like he is rolling over tables and doing all sorts of stuff and just really like actually fighting, doing fight choreography. And nowhere else in the film, in any of his films that he's been in, does anyone else do that in this year that we've seen. I do think he could carry his own major motion picture.
He's a major motion picture star.
I want him to do it. I want him to do it here. I want something. I mean, he could carry a John Wick-esque type thing, I think. He could carry...
I don't know.
No?
I don't know. Well, I'm thinking about John Wick, and Keanu like has the face of a brooding man,
of course,
where his face is a little too playful.
No.
Like
you guys should go and watch
that.
Ip Man.
Yeah,
you know, he's kind of. I mean, I don't know.
I'm just saying, I want a western. I want like not a western with cowboys and stuff.
I think it's a case of like finding.
But you don't think so? Like, you don't think that you could? I don't know if I could see him in a very serious role. Like, I think this role works for him because he's having fun with it. And he's like, and so.
But Crouching Tiger, he was serious.
He was, and
in the original.
No, in the
second.
Sword of Destiny. Yeah. I think like even in Ip Man, I'm not sure of his range as an actor, but I think it's a case of like he's such an amazing physical performer, and he clearly can act. That it's a case of like when David Fincher started using Brad Pitt, it's like he used him in the right. He knew exactly the right roles to cast him in that made him like more interesting. And I think it's the case of like. I mean, for lack of a better term, like a Quentin Tarantino finding something that is so perfect
for specifically him.
But then on the other side of this a guy, obviously the star of the movie that we're always wanting to talk about is, I just went blank on him.
What are you talking about?
Vin Diesel.
Wow.
That was embarrassing. I went blank on Vin Diesel.
It's fine.
Have you guys seen his short film Multifacial?
No.
No.
But I think that's probably the subtitle of the orgy that he had.
Just had to go there.
That was good. That was good.
So here, you set him up for that.
I did set him up, and he delivered. It was a slam.
I deserve a nugget.
How are you feeling, by the way, on these nuggets? We've got
amazing.
what do we got? Like 6 left? 14 down, 6 to go. See how you feel at the end of this. Multifacial was when Vin Diesel was basically struggling as an actor, and he'd made this short film where he was he was basically going to auditions as a white guy, going to auditions as a Dominican guy, going to auditions as a black guy. And he delivers. The funny thing about the film is it's basically, he directed it, and it was like a way to present himself to
Hollywood
cast members. And you know who saw it was Steven Spielberg, who cast him in Saving Private Ryan on the basis of that. And he's had an interesting career. The one I was like, when I watched it for the first time was Pitch Black. When I watched that, I was like, ooh, this dude is a movie star. You know, like Pitch Black, I thought was kind of incredible for him.
Not afraid of the dark.
Yeah, he was. But it was, you know, like
Movie star.
He had presence. He had presence.
Riddick is a scary character.
Yeah, Riddick is great. And then since then,
the rest of the world knew him as
Dom Toretto.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then you know, like
for those 15 seconds or less, he is free.
But I think there's an interesting actor at the heart of Vin Diesel. I think
if you strip away the franchises.
If you strip away the franchise, I think there's something interesting. I mean, he did a Sidney Lumet movie. I think put me in. I forget the name of.
I don't disagree.
Find Me Guilty.
I think that maybe that's true.
Yeah.
But you know, obviously this is not. And the problem for me with this film is I can't take Xander Cage. Like I feel like the film is wanting to say, look how cool this guy is. He's fucking cool. He's like so dope. Look, you know, like get the girls, look dope doing it.
It's such a 2000s vibe.
Yes, yeah, and it's like you're watching this and you're going, that dude is 49 years old, and not Tom
Is that
Cruise.
how old he is?
Yeah, and it's not.
Oh my God.
And not in a sort of like Tom Cruise is 49 years old kind of thing. That's the thing. You're kind of watching it and you go, this should
Why are
be
you still
played.
doing this?
This should be played by a young man. Like, here's the other thing. Donnie Yen is 53 years old and looks like he's 22.
Yeah.
You know,
those
like,
are Asians.
But he's in tip-top shape. But there's something like about Vin Diesel being like, I'm this cool XXX skateboarder.
But he's the original. That's the thing. It's the return. He's coming back. He should have stopped,
he's
and now
still supposedly.
Everyone knows.
Everyone thinks he's cool. Like he's a legend in this film. You know, like his Nina Dobrov, his IT girl.
Oh my God,
like,
she was second worst.
That was. Yeah. Wait, who goes the first worst?
Oh, what's her name? The good actress who didn't do her job.
Tony.
Yeah.
Tony Collette.
Okay.
Yeah. And with her safe word of kumquat, you know, is like it's like everyone wants to sleep with this dude, and I'm like, really? Does everyone? Is that the case?
Well, I think and I'm gonna try to twist it around a little bit. There has to be
twist away
a person from back in the day, celebrity or famous person that everyone would want to sleep with. Esther's covering her face and laughing. Is there someone that you're thinking of?
No.
Who is it?
No one.
Who's the older gentleman?
Say it. Is it Gregory Peck?
No.
What? It's not Gregory Peck.
Who is it?
No.
You can't have that reaction.
No.
Fred Astaire?
I would say, let's see, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh yeah.
Right? That just to me, she's fucking hot as shit no matter what she does.
Okay, until she did the Activia commercial.
Look, but this is what I'm saying. What's yours? I just said mine. You're giving me shit. No, fuck you, Esther. Say your fucking person.
Okay. Fuck. Ed Harris.
Ed Harris?
Oh, that's fine.
Ed Harris is a very attractive man.
But
He's
what
a
I'm saying is there's
man.
always going to be people, and you're not wanting to sleep with them because of exactly what they are now. You're wanting to sleep with them because of everything that they've been. And in this shitty, weird world, he is that celebrity. Xander Cage has returned. Everyone has heard of his exploits, and now everyone gets a chance to sleep with him.
But see, here's the thing.
Yeah.
If Ed Harris walked into this room...
I would still sleep with him.
Okay.
Yeah, see? So my point is, it all goes back.
I just nipped
Ed
that
Harris,
right in the mud.
Ed Harris, please.
Thank you.
Please dial us in at onlymoviepodcast@gmail.com or on Twitter.
But that's
at
my
onlymoviepod.
point. And you know, you can even wrap this back to around the entirety of why I think this movie, it's again, not a good movie. Got to keep saying that. Not a good movie,
Yeah.
not a good movie, not a good movie.
Yes.
But it is worthy of existing. And it is worthy of existing.
Yeah, see, that's
it
where
is.
Yeah.
Really?
Because again, the experiences that you have outside of it. Now, we've had a lot of interesting discussions because of it. And we honestly, while the discussions about the film are not breaking any boundaries, right? We are having interesting conversations about everyone involved.
But I think we're having interesting conversations about the value of film in general.
Sure.
I don't disagree with you.
There can be no light side without dark shit here.
This film,
I mean,
does it?
How do you know what happiness is if you don't know sorrow?
Does it deserve to exist? Sure. You know, like there's money to be made. That's
I'm not even talking about money.
And that's the reason.
I'm talking about. I'll even go. You're going to hate this term. It has a societal value.
It has a societal value. Do you mean it's a pressure valve against a release valve against?
I kind of see what Matt's saying in the sense that, like, we're just in dark times, and you need something to just turn off your brain.
There's definitely that.
Yeah.
I have
what's your
slight
societal
problem
value?
with that.
Well, my societal, there is that, of course.
Yeah.
I always say that 100%. You
Okay.
need the McDonald's. Chicken nuggets, they're right here.
Right.
But the point of it is, these movies, and the reason why bad movies, I think, prevail, and why, not only because it's easier to make a bad movie than a good movie, but I don't think this movie was particularly easy to make either.
It's a big production.
I think that these films, while you have all the value of seeing it with your friends and all that stuff, I like having, this is a bad movie, so I can further appreciate
the good ones.
movies.
Okay.
But that is not done with intention.
I think it is.
You think that this movie...
And by bad,
hold the fucking
I think
phone
bad,
for a second.
bad.
You're saying that this movie goes out to be intentionally bad so that other people can make good movies.
No,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
No, I thought you meant intention knowing what it was.
No, see, you're saying that the reason this film has a societal value is that we can discern good from
Yes.
bad. That's
one of the
I
reasons.
understand that, but that doesn't require intentionality.
No,
People
but why?
need-
But they were in on their own joke.
Were they in on the joke? I don't.
I feel like they were.
Really. I didn't see the joke in this film.
So-
I thought that the thing here is that look at Xander Cage, how cool he is.
But that's
And
the joke.
I don't think that's it. Do you think that there was a joke? Like, do you think at any point, like,
I mean, I laughed my ass off the whole movie.
Yeah.
do you think at any point there was like I'm too old for this shit kind of moment? Or
No, because if there
No.
was, it would go against brand. It would go against the joke.
Yeah, and the
the
societal
joke?
What do you mean?
I just don't think that there was a joke that Xander Cage is cool. This is a dude who's like ripping off a fucking satellite to show like the football game in the Dominican Republic. Like he's
And you
cool.
don't think that's silly?
He's cool. What I'm saying is every kid in this movie looks up to him and goes, "Look, it's Xander Cage. He's so cool."
I don't think that. I
You
actually
think everyone in the film is looking at him going, Xander
No,
Cage. He's like your
getting the
uncle.
meta. You're not.
No,
The meta?
no. I'm talking about
Wait,
as a viewer.
Xander Cage is a meta movie.
As a viewer, you're in on the joke that it's a parody, that it's funny. Like he doesn't take himself
This is not
seriously.
funny.
And
I
the
think
reason
it
it works is because every character in the film buys into the film's bullshit.
like, yeah, because they're all archetypes of like a specific.
They buy in 100% to this Xander Cage is God myth that the movie is spurting.
I would need at least one character to kind of comment or
No,
make,
that
or make
breaks
a
it.
joke.
That breaks it, and that
So
would
wait,
make it
so-
awful.
So
Wait, we need to think of
yeah,
better, like another movie that's
Okay.
give me an example of
give
like
Shahir one because
of a film.
we're trying to get him on board.
with a
I don't think he'll ever get on board because they saw it alone. I think
like
that's
like
a
I
big
even
thing.
think Spectre. It's not even Spectre. Skyfall has an element
No.
of like. You're a little too old to be doing this.
That's
But Skyfall's a serious film.
Yeah, it
quote.
is a serious. It's
but I think
supposed to be
that's a
taken
film
as a serious film.
that has that kind of like maybe you're not as cool as you think you are kind
No,
of.
but that
I
literally
don't-
says that in the movie. That happens in the movie. That's a literal character arc that the character
I don't think
goes
this
through.
film is saying, "Oh, look, he's like."
No,
what you're basically
you're
saying,
not-
no. What you're basically saying is he's the crotchety old uncle who thinks
No.
he's cool, but
Nope.
but everyone
That's
else kind
exactly
of
not what I'm saying.
But everyone else just plays
No,
along
no,
with
no,
it.
no,
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 that
no.
is
That's-
exact.
You
That
just
is
said that
100%.
everyone is in on the joke.
I'm
What is
saying,
the joke?
Listen, real careful now, because I'm going
Okay.
to say what I said again.
Okay, say it again.
The characters in the movie
Are in on the joke.
This is not listening. When you talk over me, that's the opposite of listening. I think I know why you didn't get my point before.
All right, say it.
The characters in the movie treat him with this reverence, and then therefore he is in the movie's plot the man. No one treats him old or silly. No one thinks he's
Yeah.
a joke in the movie. And that
The
is why
viewers.
the viewership or the meta of the movie, when you take it out, you can look at that movie and be like, they are gung-ho 100% going for this nonsense. And that is why it's okay to laugh and enjoy along with these people.
So in Batman, in the Dark
original Batman?
in
Oh,
the Dark Knight,
sure.
for example, when Batman is running around in a cape, beating up people, or going to clubs, or flying through the sky, it's upon us, the audience, to acknowledge that that is ridiculous because none of the characters in the films are acknowledging that that is ridiculous.
No, because that has other moments and basically nuance in it that is telling the audience how to react to the film. The skill at which it is told, how the story is told, and how the characters act. Like, it's all a different experience.
Yeah,
comedies have a different cadence because they want you to laugh.
You think this was a comedy?
No, just listen to what I'm fucking saying and stop interrupting for 3 goddamn seconds.
I think we're getting under his skin here, but continue.
Yeah, because I can't talk. What I'm saying is comedies, dramas, action movies, they all have different cadences and the way the pacing of a film actually goes. It's the same thing, just to a minor degree of if you're taking action movies, and I would argue that The Dark Knight is more of a drama than an action movie for the most part.
Sure.
This has none of that.
Right. It's also clear that The Dark Knight, they took their time, you know what I mean, with the characters and developing them. This is clearly just boom, 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 and then it just like moves along. There's no...
What I can't get my head behind here is the idea that this is an intentional joke. So you're saying that the filmmakers went out to say, hey...
Joke might be the wrong word.
Okay, so wait, hang on. You're saying that the filmmakers went out and said, everyone is going to get that Xander Cage is a little too old to be doing this and it's a little ridiculous. But we're not going to say that. It's upon the audience to do that. And we're also not ever going to indicate that in the film. And we're not going to do anything to suggest that in the film. So they knowingly knew that the audience would read it that way. Is that what you're saying?
I think any
Really?
competent
That's what you're saying?
Any competent filmmaker would see a cut of this film
and
be like, oh man, this is silly. Making it, they'd be like, oh man, this is silly.
Yeah, but they're not saying this is silly. They're just look, and again, I don't hate the movie. I think they're just
Yes, you do.
I'm indifferent to this movie. I'm completely 100%
You're getting awful loud for indifference.
Indifferent to this movie. It does nothing for me. But I don't think that at any point in this movie that there is any signal that there is a joke being had about Xander Cage being uncool.
There's not supposed to be a joke about him being
You guys
uncool.
are like doing like a fucking Kellyanne Conway on this shit right now.
No. I think
because you're saying this is intentionally meta in that everyone is in on the idea
that it's silly, that it's a silly action movie, that it's so over the top, silly and stupid that then you can just admit to going into it and liking it because the entire thing is dumb.
Did you think it was fun?
I thought the experience of going and seeing that film with my friends was fun.
Did you think the film was fun?
The film I thought was just funny.
But
what were you laughing at it or with it?
At it. 100%, and that's okay.
So, but do you think that is prescribed to intentionality on the case of the filmmaker?
On the case of the filmmaker, yes. Vin Diesel, I don't know.
Yeah. That's a good point.
The filmmaker and almost every other actor in this film, 100%.
So here's the thing: I think Desperado is fun and it knows what it is.
But that's different.
And that's not a comedy, although it has very funny moments.
But that's a skill. That's a different type of film.
This film is just going out to make a beat by beat action movie in the skin of James Bond
and going so over the top that it can get away with it.
Is it over the top
that it ends up being funny?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying by getting away with it.
Yeah.
And joke is the wrong term. I wasn't saying that like Vin Diesel was going out to make a meta thing about himself.
But you are kind of prescribing this idea of intentionality to it, and I just don't.
I think with the filmmakers,
I don't think there's any self-awareness in this film.
So you think you think everyone that made this movie sat down and was like, yes, this is a seriously awesome, just cool action movie?
Nope. I think everyone who sat down and said, we need to make an action movie. Here's $85 million. Let's have some action scenes, and here it is. That's what I think is happening.
I mean,
and I think
I'll even give you this. Maybe that is the case, but what
ended up happening?
What came out of it?
But that's upon you. Like
the whole thing is. Any experience about watching a piece of media is on you.
So you don't think there's any artistry to a filmmaker guiding you to a self-parody or guiding you to
personally, I think
it's all on you.
Personally for this film, I think there was. You don't, and I could see the argument as to why maybe people think that there isn't. My point is, it really doesn't matter if I'm still getting the feels that I wanted to get out of the movie.
That's fine, but do you think that, say, average Joe, our listener, going into this movie is gonna, if we just said, hey, go watch this movie.
Which we're not saying.
We are not saying that at all.
We're not.
Do you think that they're actually gonna, see, my problem is, there's no fun to be had in this movie. I don't think it's fun at all. I think you had a good time because you guys went together. It was fun to be in a movie theater, but that's got nothing to do with the movie in front of us.
No, it has everything to do with the movie in front of us because we weren't seeing a different film. We saw that film.
If I were to recommend it to anyone not that it's a good movie, but if I were to recommend someone to watch it, I would say go in it expecting like a funny movie.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say
funny.
Yeah,
a bad, cheesy, funny movie.
I don't think it's funny at all. See, I think The Happening is funny because it's so bad, and I think that I recommend that movie.
No, see, now here we go. You're now taking a film and you're enjoying cutting it down. That's what The Happening is, because you think it's so bad that it's funny.
Good,
and I guarantee you, M. Night Shyamalan wasn't like, you know what'd be really I can guarantee that.
Do you think DJ Caruso went out to make this film in like I guarantee you it's going to be funny?
No, I don't think he went in trying to make a funny film. I think he just went in, like you said, here's the money, let's make a film, it's action, whatever. And then when he saw the cut, it's like, so that's just what it is.
There's even a point. Say that's true. Say that's 100% true, and this is just what happened. There's no amount of care in this world that we're talking about that the director had trying to make a statement. He's like, money, action movie, whatever, and we derived entertainment from it. But you're talking about The Happening, someone that actually believed real fucking hard in a story, and it fell flat, and you enjoy cutting that down. That's fine. I do it too. But what I'm saying is
that's not what happens.
That's
here.
not what happens here.
I don't
because the care behind XXX, The Return of Xander Cage, in this scenario where they aren't in on the joke from the beginning, it's not there. So it makes it even easier to laugh at it.
You don't think there's any care made in this movie?
No.
Other than the action sequences? Well, no, in your world. See, now you're Kellyanne Kanyeing me. I love that she's like now an action word.
Yeah, a verb.
A verb.
I like saying action word.
Okay. I know you do.
But what I'm saying is the difference. I lost my train of thought. We've been going back and forth so much. I'm so sorry. Listen, okay, hold on. We've been talking about this for almost an hour, which is a exercise. Yeah. So let's do final thoughts. I think this will be good. Obviously, we'll give you the last one, Esther. Shahir, would you like to start? Would you like me to start?
I'll go ahead. I don't hate anyone who was involved in this movie. I don't think anyone had any malintent for making this movie. I don't think anyone was like out to make a bad movie. I think they went out to make a movie that was functional, that filled a slot in a theater, that made money. The movie made money.
In that critical February.
Yeah, in that critical. No, but it makes money. This movie makes money.
It actually doesn't. It made like, I think 41 at this point.
Internationally, it's actually made its money.
Is it? Yeah. Oh, God.
Internationally, it's made like $150 million.
Total domestic.
If you go to foreign.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, it
well,
made
you
more.
brought that up,
and
too,
that's
Matt.
the thing. It's easy money. It's easy money.
114 mil.
Yeah, you've made the money back on this movie. Maybe not counting the marketing budget or whatever the cost.
We never count that.
We don't
because that's the shadow government.
But I think it's just that to me it is a McDonald's hamburger of a movie, which is to say, sometimes you want a McDonald's hamburger, and that's fine. I think, like the best case scenario I can recommend going to see this movie is if it came out in the summer and you needed a place to get some air conditioning. No one is going to talk about this movie outside of this conversation.
We are the only podcast.
Yeah, we are the only podcast ever again in 6 months' time. It's entirely disposable. It's entirely forgettable. Mm-hmm. It is entirely, it is what it is. But I don't think, your comments that there is some level of parody, of self-awareness, of intended irony in this. I don't think it contains any of those things. I think it is just simply a straight up beat for beat. Here's some action. Here's a character that we think is cool, and I think, you might think is cool. He's going to have sex with women if that's what you're into. He's going to, blow up shit if that's what you're into. There's some hot chicks in there as well. We're clearly targeting this movie for, a young male demographic. My only issue with that as an idea is I think, like McDonald's, only in moderation. Have it once, know what you're getting, and move on. Don't have a steady diet of McDonald's, as we proved in Super Size Me. Don't have a steady diet of XXX movies or movies like this. It's perfectly acceptable. I will not recommend it to anyone. It is, in my opinion, a waste of money and a waste of time. And the thing is, Matt, I've been trying to get you to watch other things, and it saddens me that you're invested in spending time on this and not some other things, which I think you will actually enjoy and get a lot out of. And that's the only negative I would say about this movie. I'm completely indifferent to it otherwise.
I disagree that you're indifferent. That's my first thing. I think you really hate this movie.
I don't.
I think you
really
do.
Don't.
No one speaks with the passion that you do and the amount of interruptions that you've given that isn't passionate about what they're talking about. And it's okay. You can hate this. I hate a lot of things. That's fine. Look, this is a bad movie. It is not good. If you had the choice of seeing this or many other things in the theater right now, if you're not in the mood for a bad movie, yeah, don't go see this. But I think anyone listening to this show, within the sound of our lovely voices, I feel like is at least discerning enough to know that if you walk into XXX, The Return of Xander Cage, you know what you're getting. You do. And so therefore, if you're in the mood for this McDonald's, and you shouldn't make it your whole fucking diet, but if you're in the mood for literally a paint by numbers, I'm looking at my notes like, XXX is hired to get a thing away from terrorists, and then XXX hates the soldiers, is a huge dick, and gets out of the plane, then XXX recruits his friends, then XXX goes and gets the girl from the first movie and has an orgy, then XXX goes to a secret island rave where the bad guys are hiding, then XXX has a tension moment with Peeps and find out they were all in the XXX program, and then XXX gets attacked by Russians, and then XXX and Zhang and has Pandora's box, but it's only a prototype, but they can only use it once to destroy satellites, then XXX and his team have to head back out and attack government dudes, but who actually is that third act villain? We don't fucking know. XXX wins and gets double crossed, but then XXX is saved by XXX Ice Cube, and then Gibbons isn't dead. Like, that is a paint by numbers just retelling of the film. So if that doesn't sound like something that you would be interested in, that is, I feel, whether it was on purpose or not, self-aware enough in its end product to enjoy as a joke with your friends. If you think that's your cup of tea, then yes, go see it, or wait for it to be rented, or do something like that. But there is a place for this movie, and I do feel like it has a bit of cultural importance as the opposite of what we would consider a standard good film is. Esther.
Wow. How do I follow up that? Okay. Clearly a bad film. Don't waste your money to go watch it. But it's definitely a film that you can have on and watch with your friends as like a communal experience, like we talked about. And I think that it's perfect right now in like a time that's just like I said before, it's just politically like just really dark, and you need something light to turn off your brain for a little bit. And I think that this is what it is. And I was pleasantly surprised, not by how bad the film was, but how funny it was. I didn't go in expecting like a comedy, and I wouldn't necessarily call this film a comedy, but it is aware in the sense that like, yes, we know that this is like bullshit. We know he's old, but for me as a viewer, I felt like, okay, that's just what it is, and I was able to sit with it.
There we go.
There we go.
So this has been the only podcast about XXX, that's lowercase x, then uppercase x, then lowercase x, The Return of Xander Cage.
Xander Uprising!
Xander Uprising. Esther, when you are not retitling hilariously bad films starring aging action heroes, where can
that Shahir feels indifferent about.
I know. Where can folks find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram, Esther B. Park.
Yay.
No Twitter,
no Twitter?
No, Twitter's for old people.
No Snapchat?
Oh, okay.
Snapchat I have.
No, but you're not giving that one away.
No, not that one. It's a little too personal, guys.
Oh, I don't want to know what's on there.
What about you, Shahir?
ShahirDaud.com. That's ShahirDaud. That's got links to my Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff on there.
And you can find me at MatthewKroll.com. That's MatthewKroll, Skeletor, the number 4, PREZ on Instagram, and Emperor MSK on Twitter. And please go check us out on iTunes and leave a review. I promise to stop singing if you do that. Also, we have a Facebook page that we continue to post ridiculous stuff.
He will never stop singing.
No, I will never stop singing. And also, you can reach us at onlymoviepodcast@gmail.com.
I would be really interested to see what our audience thinks about this movie.
I really am too.
Yeah. So, and whether I think they would enjoy our conversation about this movie.
I hope.
But whether they would want us to
not the bickering.
Oh,
no, they love the bickering.
The bickering
is what they sign up for.
Listen, just imagine us 60 years older than we are right now, sitting on a porch doing this. That's what we do.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you guys represent very different movie reviews.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's why this works. Because,
quotes, air quotes, it works.
It works.
Oh, also, we have a fucking live show coming up. I didn't even bring that up. We're going to be at PAX East doing our fucking panel on getting good GUD at making video game movies. We're going to be there, I believe, on Friday, March 10th, 12 o'clock at the Dragonfly Theater. And that's going to be fucking great. I can't wait. We have some new stuff to talk about. Obviously, new video game movies that come out, and it's going to be wonderful.
There's a lot to talk about, actually. I think there's a few movies I may not be at the panel, but
shut your face. You're going.
I want to talk about there.
Well, listen, Esther, thank you so much for coming on
Thanks
and
for having
chatting.
I feel like we're going to see you again very soon.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
I think so.
Who knows?
Who knows?
It
Dun,
could,
dun, dun.
For XXX3, The Return of Ice Cube. Hey, maybe we'll review Teacher Fight. No, we won't.
Fist fight.
Is it called Fist Fight?
Fist Fight.
It should have been called Teacher Fight because the whole hashtag in the movie is Teacher Fight. Anyway, we're going too long. Guys, we'll see you next time. Adios.
Bye-bye.
Bye.